Hello, welcome to Nyambung, a program to make you click and connect with me, Dina Praptoraharja, and my co-host, Nadila Amani.
Okay, maybe on to the next topic of the UNGA resolution that they are also talking about the issue for the United States to end the Cuba embargo for the 29th consecutive year. With votings, the world from year to year have shown strong critique and demand to the US to end the embargo to Cuba, but still the US doesn't budge, as you said earlier. Maybe if I could talk a little bit about the background on Cuba so that we could know where the country stands and its relationship to Indonesia. Cuba is a country that houses 11.3 million of people that is located in the northern Caribbean Sea, south of the United States. Cuba, to many Indonesians, might heavily related to Fidel Castro. It's now deceased revolutionary leader. We are so familiar with that name. Okay, Cuba and Indonesia has established diplomatic relations in 1960 under the presidency of Sukarno, Indonesia's first president. Indonesia-Cuba relation is exceptionally close for their common position against polarism during the Cold War and against imperialism. And also, I remember that one of your colleagues in Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who also teach with you, is now an ambassador in Cuba, right, Budina?
Yes.
the first lady who is appointed as ambassador plenipotentiary and extraordinary ever post in the country. Is that true, Budina?
Yes, Nadila, true. A very gentle and kind-hearted lady is now becoming the first lady ambassador to Cuba. Yes, Cuba is a fascinating country to learn from. It has one of the quite resilient country of the world. Mm-hmm. Interestingly, Cuba continuously being seen as a threat by the United States. Mm-hmm. It has been contained, it has been embargoed, exiled, but yet survive.
Yeah.
There was a great hope on Cuba-US relations. I recall when Obama was president of the United States, he normalizes the relationship between the two countries, even visited Cuba in 2016. So the first action at that time from the United States was that in May 2015, Cuba was taken off the US list of terrorist country. The Congress didn't block the intent because that's the mandate of the Congress actually to take that off. And then some import-export activities emerge back again between US and Cuba. Movie makers visit Cuba, concerts, trainings, even sports, trainings such as the Major League Baseball, flights, ferries are open. So there was quite lively reconnection between the two countries. But then this is what's been perplexing for me. 2 days ago, US President Joe Biden, one president who has been hailing multilateralism and peace during his presidential campaign, ended up continuing the Washington's tradition of voting against the UNGA resolution. So this UNGA resolution that we're talking about this time is calling for an end to a US economic embargo on Cuba. And what Joe Biden did was taking the same position with Trump, who decided to roll back all the normalization of relationship that Obama has introduced. What is going on, right? And most importantly, this is the 29th time that this happened. And interestingly as well, 184 countries of the 193 members of the UN voted in favor.
Yeah.
Only 3 countries abstained and 2 votes of rejection. And the voting of rejection came from the US and Israel.
Yeah.
So the US, tried to deny and justifying the action by saying that it's the Congress who can lift the embargo. So, to me, this is one important thing for us to look at. You would think that with the return of the U.S. to the promise of multilateralism, we will see something else going on, but we did not.
Okay. I'm curious though, Budina, what do you think the U.S. is getting from the embargo to Cuba?
Well, I'm just an ordinary person, yeah. Well, if I look at the relationship between Cuba and the United States, I think it's been very complex. Not many international relations experts even can quite explain the nature of the relationship between the two countries. Some of it based on personalistic leadership that linger from the Cold War period. Some others is also about the U.S. simply trying to show pressure against countries that they think may continue to be in disagreement with them on principal levels on certain issues. So I think it's important for us now to discuss about multilateralism, because I think that's the heart of where things are. But to me, before we end this conversation about Cuba is a very, Cuba in and all itself has a very vibrant life. It also has, customs, traditions. It has people who basically have to work with each other based on solidarity to survive all the pressures and embargo that they have been undergoing for years, for decades. And based on the information I gathered, the situation inside of Cuba is not quite enabling for many people. Not for farmers, not for people who work in the service sector or in the especially manufacturing sector. It's not quite helpful, all of this economic embargo being continued. Do you know that 70 to 80% of food products in Cuba has to be imported? So it's very difficult if you live in Cuba. As my friend told me, the ambassador told me, they have to import chicken. They don't have many kinds of vegetables. So unless you grow yourself, there are very limited options of food products. So this is also something that the world barely consider, when they negotiate and take positions in multilateralism. So this is important for us now to try to look closer into multilateralism inside of the United Nations.
Thank you so much for your support once again. Our podcast is available at YouTube and Spotify at Nyambung with Dina Praptora Harja. Make sure to send us your questions or your thoughts through YouTube comment section. And if you enjoy the episode, don't forget to like, share the link to your community, and subscribe so you make sure you don't miss our contents because we post every week.